Well, you started the events by going to a grown man's home and his mom's house and his brother's house, waking him up in the middle of the night, banging on the door with your friends. Isn't that true? Why'd you leave before you even got there? Why'd you get in the car?
I don't a mistake, honestly. That's really
Deadly mistake, right?
quite literally.
Oh, I would focus on that. I would absolutely the fact that he admitted to making a deadly mistake. I would ask 100 questions about and repeat in every single one of those questions the deadly mistake. Right? The deadly mistake that who made? That the witness made, not my client. The witness admitted to making it. It was a deadly mistake when you put each one of those hollow point bullets in that gun. That contributed to the deadly mistake, right? Contributed to the deadly mistake that you were over there. Contributed to the deadly mistake that you had a firearm in your goddamn pants with no holster. Contributed to the deadly mistake that you're over there at midnight. You build it all up about this deadly mistake. You let the jury hear about this deadly mistake that this man made over and over and over. Because again, you want to shift blame from your client. Everybody's blaming this guy for murder. That's what he's being charged with. You're like, no, the people who made the deadly mistake were these boys. And then you can use that again in your closing, right? You use it with this witness over and over and over. It becomes one of the themes of your defense. This deadly mistake that they made, not my client, they made it by showing up to this house at midnight, banging on the goddamn door. And then you emphasize that again in your closing, right? To really shift the blame. Now, we already talked a little bit, our brother Travis has got some exposure, but these are phrases that you want to jump on when you hear your witness talking like this, right? You don't let these deadly mistake verbiage, you don't let this type of language just go without capitalizing on it.
If you pair that with the poor choices, like that, those questions from earlier,
AV is
would be
doing
amazing.
it. AV is doing it. Then you loop it back. The deadly mistake, and the poor choices. The deadly mistake, the poor choices. And he said something else about a mistake. Well, I think the first time he called it a mistake. This is even better because now he's calling it a deadly mistake. So you admitted 30 minutes ago about all the poor choices, right? And these poor choices, what did they lead to? A deadly mistake that you made. You're admitting that you made these poor choices. You're admitting that you're making these deadly mistakes, right? You put his ass on trial, right? It's where he needs to be anyway. All right, let's go. Great observation, AV.
A mistake, honestly. That's really
Deadly mistake, right?
quite literally.
And let me say this, shout out to the attorney because he's the one that put deadly in there. But once you put deadly in there, now you got to use it. But this attorney did an excellent job in making the word mistake, putting deadly as a modifier. The attorney is the one that did that, and he co-signed it. So now you need to nail him in the coffin with it. Talk all the times, say the word deadly mistake 5 times, 7 times, 10 times. Use that phrase over and over so he can't back out of it, right? But
You were scared before you even went there, right?
Just let it go. I would have jumped all over that.
Only thing that occurred was me getting shot, Sebastian dying, and that's about it.
The rest of it doesn't matter, right? It's irrelevant.
Let me just jump in here too, guys. I would have jumped on that. When the guy said that the only thing that matters was Sebastian getting killed and him getting shot. Let me go back for a second. Listen to this.
When those texts occurred, no, these were, like I said, texts about things that never occurred that night. Only thing that occurred was me getting shot, Sebastian dying, and that's about it.
That's the only thing that occurred. You getting shot and Sebastian dying. Yeah. So the only thing that occurred is Sebastian dying. Yeah. And you getting shot. Yeah. And then you go into it. What about this Black woman who was asleep in her house? And then 4 gunmen or 4 people, one who has a gun shows up. Did that happen that night? Yeah. Did these 4 people, one who had a gun, show up at her door in the middle of the night? Yeah. And did they park a football field away? Yeah. And from the football field away, did they walk over to this lady's house? Yeah. And when they walked over to the lady's house, did one of them have a gun? Yeah. And were they there in anticipation of a possible fight? Yeah. Did this Black woman who's in her 60s have anything to do with this fight? No. But you guys were there and brought that potential to her house? Yes. That didn't happen. The only thing that happened was you getting shot and Sebastian getting murdered. Nothing else happened, right? This is how you keep tying it back to your client. He's not really doing that. This attorney's not making us remember that the mother is the victim in this. The brother is the victim in this. His client is the victim in this. You're not humanizing it. That's why you bring the mother in first. So first you talk about the mother, then you ask the same questions about the brother, and then you ask the same questions about Travis. You see what I'm saying? You humanize it. He's just asking random questions.
Yeah.
But what
That
about your
witness
fucking...
has control? That witness has control a little bit too. Like it's not as bad as Dominique with yesterday, but this is going off the rails too.
Exactly. Exactly. Guys, for these questions, you want the jury to remember what the fuck is going on, right? Let's and who's really the victim in this. Let's go.
April 7th, 2021. 4 men showed up at his front door.
I heard just a loud bang, as if like the police was at the door.
In exclusive video, we can now see everything playing out on security cameras.
This all happened within seconds, so my brother was the first one to get to the door, so I was worried about his safety as well.
Who is it? Where Travis at? Travis at?
According to court records, Rudolph and his then-girlfriend, Dominique Jones, got into a fight earlier that night.
Open this door, bro, because this got me. Dominique, stop.
Who are you calling it, bruh?
Afterwards, she texted her brother, Keyshawn Jones. Evidence shows they both made threats towards Rudolph.
Isn't it true that you were the first person to become physically violent with Travis and not the other way around?
No.
Not at all?
Something or show me something if I can't recall the exact steps of the moments.
Question. Okay, so you were the first one to become physically violent with Travis, not the other way around. Answer, correct.
Yes, is it correct?
You remember that?
Yes.
So you smashed his iPhone not out of anger, but because you were hurt?
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't send my brothers to kill him.
No, you just sent a text to go shoot up his shit, right?
I didn't say shoot him.
You sent a text to go shoot up his shit, right?
Correct.
Tell the jury what the shit is.
When you're angry, you say things. I'm sure everyone in this courtroom has said something when you're... I'm trying to speak. If you want me to answer your question, you have to let me answer your question.
Well, if you were responsive to my question, I wouldn't have...
All right. Answer the question, please.
Okay. Can you repeat your question?
The question was shit. What does shit mean in the context of that text?
Anything but him.
Okay. So it could have been his brother?
No.
It could have been the house?
Nothing violent toward a person.
It could have been his mother's house, right?
As soon as I came outside, literally, Tyler, like, he sucker punched me to my left eye. It was Tyler and Sebastian. It was like kind of trying to corner me in. And Tyler, he had pulled out his firearm. And during that time, Tyler pulled out his firearm. Sebastian was like, you messed with the wrong girl. You're gonna die tonight. And then that's when I went back inside and grabbed my firearm. I had to do what I had to do, you know what I'm saying, to protect me and my family. My brother was on the ground getting jumped by 2 of those guys getting kicked. So that's the reason why I went down the street. While they're all in their car, I see 2 firearms pointing at me and my brother. And I couldn't believe it. And it's just a split decision where I just felt like it's either me and my brother or these guys that's, you know what I'm saying, gonna get hurt. I mean, I felt like I had to keep shooting until the threat is no longer a threat anymore.
Did you realize you had shot somebody when that all happened?
No, I honestly didn't know I had shot anyone. And my heart sunk. I was just trying to get them away from me and my brother, from killing us, really.
Sebastian Jean Jacques was shot and killed. Tyler Robinson was also shot but survived. Keyshawn Jones and Christopher Lowe were not hurt.
Self-defense is to be used when you're in reasonable fear of imminent death or serious bodily harm. So the alternative to acting in a way of using lethal force is to die. That's it. It's binary here. This is not some hippie fucking nonsense 2021 gender chart. This is binary. You either act in self-defense or you die. All right? That's it. Pointing a gun at someone, saying I'll shoot you, saying I'm going to kill you. These are provocative acts.
I was just trying to get them away from me and my brother, from killing us, really. I had to do what I had to do, you know what I'm saying, to protect me and my family. My brother was on the ground getting jumped by 2 of those guys, getting kicked. So that's the reason why I went down the street. While they're all in their car, I see 2 firearms pointing at me and my brother.
You either act in self-defense or you die. All right? That's it.
Rudolph, 27, is charged with 1 count of first-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder in connection with the shooting that killed Sebastian